2 gas company workers pounded on my door and shouted, "Sir, there's a live electrical fault feeding your basement, but the wiring's been rerouted on purpose." I froze. My husband was down in that basement right now, giving our 4-year-old son, Rowan, his bath in the utility sink. "I'm sorry, rerouted?" The taller worker spoke fast. "Your smart meter flagged a massive draw pulling straight to the basement. That's not a fault from where. Someone spliced a line to run current into standing water down there. If anyone's near it, I didn't hear the rest. I was already moving. My husband's bathing our son in the basement sink. Both men's faces changed. Then we move slow and we cut the main first. One wrong step near that water and it's over. Then a memory hit me so hard I nearly buckled. Rowan was obsessed with water. Splashing, done plugging drains, sticking his hands wherever they didn't belong. If he saw a puddle spreading across that floor, he'd stomp straight into it, laughing. "How do you know it was deliberate?" I whispered as we crept toward the basement stairs. The worker's jaw tightened. "Because the splice is clean. Someone who knew exactly what they were doing tied it into your line. This was planned." My stomach turned to stone. Planned. By who? I eased the basement door open. My husband, Deo, was kneeling at the utility sink, Rowan giggling under a mound of bubbles, both of them oblivious. 6 feet away, a thin sheen of water was creeping across the concrete from a leak I'd never seen before, and one worker went dead pale because the frayed line was inches from that spreading water. "Don't let the boy down," he breathed, "and don't step in it." Deo caught my face first, then saw the 2 strangers behind me and went rigid. I pressed a finger to my lips and pointed at the floor. He looked down, saw the water inching toward the outlet strip, and understood. Slowly, he lifted Rowan straight up out of the sink, dripping, and held him against his chest, away from the floor. That's when Rowan spotted the water. "Puddle!" he shrieked, delighted, and lunged out of Deo's arms toward it. Deo caught him mid-air, both of them crashing backward onto the dry stairs instead of the wet floor. Hard, but dry. The worker lunged for the main breaker and threw it. Everything went dark, and for the first time, safe. We got them both out onto the lawn. Rowan was fine, thrilled even, thinking it was a game. Deo was shaking. The fire department confirmed it within the hour. A deliberately spliced line, positioned so that the next person to touch that water would have completed the circuit. Someone had rigged our basement to kill. At the station later, a detective told me they'd already found the person responsible, thanks to a hardware store camera and a very specific tool left behind. "He's here now," she said, "and he asked for you by name." I didn't understand. They walked me to a window looking into an interview room. A man sat cuffed at the table, head down. When he lifted it, the floor dropped out from under me. It was my brother-in-law, Corin, Deo's own brother, who we'd bailed out, housed, and fed for 2 years. I went in. He smiled, tired. "Hey, Rowan is 4, I said. He could have died. His smile fell. "You and Deo cut me off after everything." I stared at him. "We'd cut him off after he'd drained our savings account with a forged check and refused to admit it. You stole from us," I said. "We had a baby coming. There was nothing left to give you. You chose a bank account over family," he said flatly. "I wanted you to feel what it's like to lose everything you can't get back." I looked at this man I'd set a place for at every holiday and felt something close like a door. "You tried to electrocute a 4-year-old in his bath." I stood. "You just lost the only family that ever covered for you. For good." Here's the part that finished him. The tool he'd left in our basement, a specialty wire stripper, was engraved with his own initials, a gift Deo had given him years ago. He'd rigged the trap that was meant to look like an accident and signed it. The detective told me it was the cleanest evidence she'd seen. His prints, his tool, his name, his motive, all in one basement. Corin is facing attempted murder. 3 counts. Deo hasn't spoken his name since. Rowan asks why we don't see Uncle Corin anymore. We tell him Uncle made a very bad choice. Someday he'll be old enough for the truth. So tell me, if the person who tried to kill your child was your spouse's own brother, could you ever sit across a holiday table from anyone who still defended him?